Lesson 3, Stop Motion Science and Eye Anatomy. Stop motion science. The science behind stop motion animation lies in the persistence of vision and the illusion of movement. Persistence of vision is a phenomenon which the human eye retains an image for a fraction of a second after it disappears from view. This creates the perception of continuous motion when a series of still images is presented in rapid succession. In stop-motion animation, a series of individual frames or photographs are captured, with each frame representing a slight movement or change in the scene. These frames are then played back at a specific frame rate, which is usually 24 frames per second, or FPS, in film, or 30 FPS in television, to create the illusion of smooth movement. Each frame in stop-motion animation is captured by taking a photograph or recording a video of the scene. The animator carefully moves the objects or characters in small increments between each frame, ensuring that the movement is smooth and consistent. Once the frames are captured, they're compiled and played back in sequence at the desired frame rate. This creates the illusion of movement as the human eye perceives the rapid succession of images. In traditional stop-motion animation, motion blur is not naturally captured since each frame is a still image. However, animators can create the illusion of stop-motion blur by adding subtle blurring effects during post-production or by using techniques like smearing or stretching the objects or characters between frames. With advancements in technology, stop-motion animation can now be combined with digital effects and CGI to enhance the final result. This allows for integration of complex visual effects such as explosions, weather effects, or fantastical creatures into stop-motion animation. Overall, the science behind stop-motion animation relies on the principles of persistence of vision, frame rate, and careful manipulation of objects or characters to create the illusion of movement. It is a meticulous and time-consuming process that requires precision and attention to detail to achieve smooth and believable animation. Persistence of vision. Persistence of vision is a fascinating concept that helps us understand how our eyes and brain work together so that we can see motion. Our eyes are like cameras that take pictures of what we see. But did you know that our eyes can remember what they see for a short time, even after the image is gone? This is called persistence of vision. Imagine that you have a flip book with a series of pictures. When you quickly flip through the pages, the pictures seem to come to life and move. That's because our eyes remember each picture for a tiny moment, and when we see them in quick succession, our brain puts them together and makes it look like the pictures are moving. The same thing happens when we watch a film or animation. It's actually a lot of pictures shown one after another really fast. Our eyes remember each picture for a short time, and our brain connects them to create the illusion of movement. So when you next watch a stop-motion animation, like a clay character moving or objects coming to life, it's because of persistence of vision. Even though the characters or objects are not really moving, our eyes and brain work together to make it look like they are. Eye anatomy. The eye is a remarkable organ that allows us to see the world around us. When we look at something, light from that object enters our eyes. This light can come from natural sources like the sun or artificial sources like lamps. the light first passes through a clear curved layer at the front of the eye called the cornea. The cornea helps to focus the light. Then it passes through a flexible, transparent structure called the lens, which further focuses the light onto the back of the eye by stretching or shortening the ligaments it is attached by, a bit like moving a magnifying glass closer or further away from an object you're trying to see. The back of the eye has a layer called the retina. The retina contains special cells called photoreceptors, which are sensitive to light. There are two types of photoreceptors, rods and cones. Rods are responsible for vision in low light conditions and help us to see shades of grey. Cones are responsible for colour vision and work best in bright light. They allow us to see different colours and details. When light hits the photoreceptors in the retina, they send electrical signals to the brain through a bundle of fibres called the optic nerve. The optic nerve carries these signals to the brain, where they're interpreted as images. The brain receives the electrical signals from the optic nerve and processes them to create the images that we see. It combines the signals from both eyes to give us depth perception and a three-dimensional view of the world. The eye also has muscles that control the size of the pupil, which is a black part in the centre of your eye. The iris, the coloured part of the eye, controls the size of the pupil by adjusting the muscles like the dial focusing the image through binoculars. This helps regulate the amount of light entering the eye. Make your own flick book. Have you ever been bored when writing? Doodled in the margins or the edge of the page? You could use the time to create a simple flick book. Practice using a post-it pad or even a sheet of paper folded in half using the short edge. All you need is the paper and a pen or pencil. Then draw a simple image like a smiley face. Then on the next page in the same place draw a wink face. Using your pencil, roll paper of the first page around it and use it to lift and lower the top sheet of paper rapidly up and down as if you were turning the page. It should look like the smiley face is winking at you. This is the simplest form of animation and visually demonstrates the principle of persistence of vision. You can get more adventurous and do a series of images over multiple pages with simple changes between each one. Even if you don't think you're a good artist, you can make a stick figure wave or do jumping jacks or even show a bouncing ball. Draw each image on a different page but in the same location and flick through them very quickly. The images will appear animated. Try it and see how many ideas you can come up with.